All right, guys. So today we're gonna unbox this Biqu H2 V2S Lite, this direct drive extruder. I just got it in a couple days ago. I've got some experience with some of the other BQ, like the original H2, the H2 V2S Revo. I think it just put a video out, or will be working on a video right now of the Biqu H2 V2S Revo on the Kingroon KP3S Pro S1 that's running Clipper. Um, Ultimately, this extruder will go on that machine, just because of the higher flow rate that this is capable of. Now that E3D has announced the high flow Revo nozzles, excited to get a couple of those in. So maybe the Revo will stay on the Kingroon. Haven't decided yet. If so, we'll have to find something else to put this on. Got a couple Rogue Ender 3s around, so this might be good for one of those. So um, let's get into it. Let's get this unboxed. And this typically, other than your mount, comes with almost everything you need to get it going. Comes with a little manual here. The manuals for these, they're not the best. It gives you kind of the basic, product dimensions, basic parameters, what's included in the box. But it doesn't give you a whole lot of information about, how the extruder functions or anything. It does give a breakdown. These are pretty easy. There's not much to them, and they're small, compact, very very light. I think the specs on this one versus the BQ, the Revo. The Revo is like 195 grams. This one's much lighter, about 175 grams, which is pretty good considering it includes, the nozzle, the heater block, the heat break, all the gearing, the extruder mechanism, the extruder motor, and the fan. Right, so everything is contained pretty much in this package. And the only thing that you're going to add to the weight on this, so 175 grams, is going to be, a mount to mount it to whatever you're going to be, whatever machine, whatever printer you're going to be putting it on, and then a fan shroud. So you're not adding much weight to this. So all in, you're probably going to be around 200 grams for a full direct drive, on your Ginter or whatever machine you're going on. The BQ, the Revo version of this on the Kingroon, with the mount, that I designed, and then the fan, the part cooling fan, and the fan shroud, all of it together, with the Revo version, came in at like 240 grams. This here being, roughly 20 grams lighter, so you'll be between 220, which isn't too bad. So do not discard. This is pretty important from what I've heard with this extruder. The heat break that is included on this, that connects the heat block, to the extruder, is somewhat fragile. I'm curious to see how this works long term, especially with my intent of using the high flow rate that this has. I believe it's roughly like 45 millimeters cube per second. So you're printing fast with this, right? So that heat break, that fragile heat break, smaller nozzle, everything, we'll see how it holds up over time. But this here, basically, it says it includes a wrench for tightening the nozzle. Do not over torque, because that that can break. So, and we'll see that in here once we take this out, how small that actually is. So here is the direct drive itself. It's tiny. It's really really small. I've got a Titan set up here. So this was the stock setup minus the hot end that came off of the King Rune. So, you know, I mean, look at the difference. I mean, the whole, this is basically everything, and you know the weights. You know, this is significantly heavier. Again, Titan with the pancake stepper motor that came off the King Rune. So it's really small. What I really like about these is the gearing and the gears. They're very quiet when they're running. The Revo, when that thing is running, you can barely hear anything. Now the one drawback behind these, and I am hoping this isn't the same as um, the Revo is loud when retracting. So you know a lot of default, like the King Rune KP3S, and a lot of default profiles, slicer profiles, will set retraction to 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter retraction on the Revo version of this makes the retraction very loud. So you have to set it down to like zero 0.5, zero 0.4. When you do that, it's not as bad, but it is loud. Especially on a machine that is quiet, that has quiet stepper drivers. You hear that when you first run one. It's kind of alarming. I know a lot of people have reached out to BQ about it, with concerns that, but it just seems to be, you know, how they sound. This one here feels good, rotates freely by hand. Um, this here for on off for loading the filament. If you look down into this tiny little port here, you can see that gear back off as you pull that out. So for unloading and loading filament, this little screw here, if you were to open this up, and actually with this one here, you can actually see it. There's a little spring in there, and that's your tension of how tight the dual gears kind of pinch onto that filament. You don't want it too tight, obviously, but it's nice because you can see everything in here, right? Like you can see all your gearing, you can see everything. So it's nice because you can see if any of the gears are misaligned or gummed up, or if anything gets stuck in this, you're going to be able to see it. Just like the other H2s, you've got this nice fins for cooling. The cooling on the Revo and the original H2 has been good. Small stepper motor, same orientation of the plug. This will actually work. This will swap directly onto the mount that I designed for the Revo version of this, and it's an exact swap. So I can swap this in and out on the King Rune or any other printer that has this mount. Obviously, this mounting is going to be different depending on the machine, but that whole mount I've kind of designed so that it's pretty interchangeable. So the big question here is this heat break. This heat break is very small. It's tiny. I don't know how fragile that's going to be. I've got some concern with this because of the flow rate. The flow rate with this is you're going to be printing fast, right? You throw this on a Voron, or you throw this on a machine that you're going to be utilizing that 45 millimeter cube flow rate. You're going to be cranking, and you're going to be printing 250 millimeters a second or better, up to 500. I think this could likely handle. And when you're doing that, I'm wondering the longevity of how this holds up. So we'll see. Once we get through the unboxing on this, I'm going to find a printer to put this on, and then we're going to put it through its paces. But we will see. So there's the extruder. Not too bad. Beautiful looking extruder. So I hope it works as good as it looks. So let's set that here. And here is the heater block, right? It's strange, right? It's a vertical heater block, so it's got a longer melt zone on it. It's not it's small, right? So your heater cartridge, your thermistor, but it should work well. It does have a lengthy melt zone. So the other strange thing with this is the nozzle. I have seen the nozzle in comparison to others, and it's small. Right, you get that long neck, that long threaded neck on it, like you do with like a volcano, right? But let's take a look at. I'm actually gonna bring out a volcano style nozzle so we can compare. The threads on this, the neck is very, very small, right? So you've got similar length. It is a little, well, it's probably about the same. There might be a millimeter shorter on this one. So your volcano and your V2S Lite nozzle, but this is very, very small. So I'm curious to see how it works. I do have some concerns about how delicate all of this seems to be. It may prove to be just fine, which I'm hoping. So, heater block, nozzle. Let's see what comes in this box here. So I know it does come. It says it comes. The website says it comes just like the Revo with the wiring and the heater cartridge and the thermistor and all of that. So let's pull this out. So it comes with all your tools. Wrench for tightening the nozzle. Little piece of PTFE tubing. This little PTFE tube. This is an all metal hot end. This little piece of PTFE tube is for this coupler here, for feeding down into the top of the extruder there. So let's open this up just to get a better look at what's in this bag here. So we'll just set that one aside. Just tools. Like I said, screws. I like that this comes with these like little gold anodized screws, and they look nice. They should look real good with mounting that. So I like that it comes with those. Your fan. And another thing I like about this is, and it came with the picture in the box, is that this is a cool fan because it's clear, and it just lends itself well with the openness and clean look of this extruder. Clear cooling fan. I like that. Now let's see if I can find a 5015 clear part cooling fan. So we got your heater cartridge, right? Nice heater cartridge, and your thermistor, heater cartridge thermistor. Now I think that heater cartridge is, I believe that heater cartridge is higher wattage. Yeah, so this heater cartridge is 70 watts. So 70 watts, 24 volt. So it should put out plenty of power. Should heat that nozzle up really quickly. Comes with your wiring, for your motor. Also comes with fan wire extensions. Like some ground tape. There's some tape for wiring. Oh, this is nice. So it comes with its own little package of thermal grease. I like that. And then it does come with a duck, right? So I've got, there's one, it's here, ducks. I've got ducks everywhere from all the stuff I've got from BQ, Big Tree Tech. There's plenty more around here somewhere. I like that they put these in here, right? So I hear a lot of people complain all the time that they buy something from Big Tree Tech or BQ and they didn't get their little duck. So just kind of neat. It's like the gummy bears from Prusa. So we'll set that over there. So that's it, right? So everything that it comes with is everything you really need. I mean, minus the mounts that you're going to design and print or get off of printables or things or Thingiverse to mount this to whatever printer you're going to be using on. Right, so this will thread onto here. So the wrench that, again, they recommend just using this wrench here, and then they do specify, do not over tighten this. If you do, there is a grub screw in here that releases this little heat break. This falls out, but apparently they've had people who have been tightening these heat blocks on and shearing this heat break off, and then not being able to get the heat break out of the extruder body here, out of the cooling block. It just, you can't get it out. And then, I think, if you shear it off, you could probably use an easy out or something and get it out there, get it out. Once that grub screws out, there should be nothing holding it in. But apparently people have been having issues with this. So just like anything else, once you get the heat block on to the heat break, snug it up nice and snug. You're going to slide in your heater cartridge before you put this in from the top, making sure that it's level with both ends here. Your little thermistor sits in here, and it does come with a little screw to hold that thermistor in. Just like anything else, just like any other printer, these thermistor wires are pretty delicate. So when you put that screw in, you just need to snug it up just enough to hold that in there. You don't want to tighten that down too much, because you can shear off those wires or mess up those wires so that you don't get accurate reading or reading at all. Then you'll get errors. So overall, I'm very impressed. I mean, the VQ direct drive extruders, the H2 lines, they're just designed really well. There's some nice play backlash in these gears, and they just spin. It's very clean. And the openness of it, like anything goes wrong with this, you're going to be able to see it. The Revo version, or the original H2, you have to take it apart if you suspect any gearing here. Here you can basically see everything. So I hope this helps, guys. I think if you're interested in a very light, small, really good looking direct drive that has the capability of 40 45 millimeter cube per second flow rate, for a Voron build, or any crazy KP3S builds like I'm working on now, or this might go good on my super racer, anything and to increase the flow rate. This is great. It's light, 175 grams, right? So you might be 200 to 220 grams all in, and that's not too bad. So for a direct drive, so I think it's good. We're gonna end the video there. Any comments, any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is going to be a good extruder? Have you had experience with it? Do you know any other people that have had experiences, good or bad? Let me know in the comments below, and look for future videos on this. If you want, subscribe. That way, when I do put out a video, you get notified of it. Give me a thumbs up if you think this is a good video. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. Give me a comment if you get a thumbs down. I like the feedback, to know I'm still new at this, and we're we're doing our best. All right. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I hope this means you go out and buy one of these and play with it and let me know what you think.